Man, look at that snow. 3 of us worked for about 3 hours this morning. Had this deck cleared, had the deck here cleared, the driveway cleared, and it's already snowed another couple of inches in the last hour and a half that we've quit working. Too darn much snow. But Rhonda's not unhappy. The school district just called to tell her, no school tomorrow. It's been crazy, she said. In fact, she said that in the month of January, that was one Monday off for President's Day, and the rest of the Mondays off for snow, had 4-day weeks. Used all their snow days though, so I think there's a little chance now that they'll be having a day to make up. Crazy weather, tremendous snow. I don't know why, but yesterday I got to thinking about bears. As a kid, I don't remember anybody ever scaring me with bear stories. The bear's going to get you. But I do remember that as a kid and even as a young adult, I used to have dreams of bears chasing me, nightmares. Sometimes I was naked as a jay bird and being chased right down through town with a bear right after me, running for my life. Wow! Why would I be afraid of bears? Don't know. Don't remember any reason. Never saw a bear that I know of. We weren't rich. We didn't go to circuses. However, when we moved off of the farm west of Enid and into Enid, Oklahoma, we lived on the poor side of town, and there was an empty lot not too far away. In fact, you crossed it on the way to my school, the Harrison School. And on that empty lot, the circus set up. And I remember that at least 2 times, I suppose the 2 times circus came to town, while we were there, Dad got us up in the morning to go down and watch them unload the circus animals. And by golly, when they were going out after they put their circus on for a day and a night, we watched them load up. So we saw the circus even though we didn't go to the circus. And at least one of those 2 years there was a bear, big old brown bear. Didn't see any bears other than that, tame bear, imprisoned bear, until on the way overseas in 1951. Don and I had left the kids with their grandparents, my folks and her folks, and we stopped at Yellowstone on the way to San Francisco, and had bought some chips, potato chips. Didn't eat them all. We came out with a chip bag in hand, and between us and our car was a brown bear that made it very clear that we share the chips. Well, okay, we'll share them. I threw them way out up to the front and away from the car. The bear gladly went over and got him, and we got in the car. I wasn't really afraid of him, but I wasn't going to be messing around with those chips in my hand when he wanted them. Next time that I remember seeing a bear was much later on, and we were in Yellowstone Park with the kids. A lot later. It may even have been after Roy had gotten old enough that he was in the Navy. But as we were driving around, we come around a corner, and here's a whole lineup of cars, 20, 30, 40 cars. And bears, my gosh, bears everywhere to the side of the forest by the cars. Somebody pulled out, we pulled in, and we inherited a big grizzly bear. Obviously he expected to be fed, and sure enough, we had a box of those little cheesy crackers, partially eaten. We fed the bear. The bear was quite happy with us. We were happy with the bear. A huge grizzly. He would take those crackers and sit down on his haunches, and his head was higher in the car. Well, we ran out of crackers. I had peppermint in my pocket, so I threw one of my little wrapped peppermints out there to him, and he looked plumb pleased. He's used to eating candy, I think. He's sitting there, and he unwrapped that just as neatly as any human being could have done. Threw that paper aside, plopped that thing in his mouth. Everybody's happy, and we're delighted. He's not happy. All of a sudden, he raised up and roared at us. Didn't take long to get the car started and get out of there. Then I figured it out. That peppermint was hot to him, and he thought I'd stiffed him. If you're going to stiff somebody, I don't recommend stiffing a grizzly bear. I don't know if he'd done us any harm or not, but he was not happy. And we didn't stay around to see if he was going to get happy. Another time, again in the big park with the kids, we saw something was going on, so we parked and walked around to where the people were gathered, and it was a mama bear, cubs, two. One of the little guys was up in a tree, not high, like, first, second limb. And some idiot guy with a camera wanting to get a good picture. He was stupid. He gets right up underneath the tree, takes a picture of the bear and cub bear, and not paying attention. Hey, you're getting between mama and her baby, and boy, here she came on a charge, not a sound, just came running at him, her teeth bared. And I don't know if it was a employee of the park, probably a park ranger, but I remember that somebody that looked like they had their act together rushed out and pushed that guy away. And of course, the minute that the bear was able to get to the baby, she didn't pursue him. But the crowd left. There wasn't anybody too much interested in those cubs after seeing that mama get ready to do damage. Rhonda lives in Tahoe, obviously, all that snow, and we talk about it here. She used to live on a street. Now she lives right against the forest. In fact, she was right close to where the forest fire started and thought she was going to lose her house here just a few months ago. But she used to live on a street that had some neighbors, 2 or 3 neighbors, that didn't do their garbage right, and the bears found that out, and 2 or 3 bears had a little pattern, come down the road, pick the garbage up, clean it up a little, put it edible. The kids got to where they liked to watch when they heard the bears go through, because they particularly wanted to watch this one bear because the bear had a food scavenger partner, a coyote. Talk about a symbiotic relationship. Coyotes have a little trouble opening trash cans. Bears don't. So this particular coyote would follow this particular bear. The bear would empty the trash can, pick out what he wanted, move on. And the coyote would come along and he'd still find a few scraps that made it worthwhile to follow that bear. Pretty darn neat. I don't know whether I would ever want to be like that fellow that went and lived with the bears until the bear ate his girlfriend and him. I don't know if I'd ever want to even adventure to be that close to bears. But I did appreciate it when my grandson-in-law from Montana, Chirac, J. Chirac, gave me a book about bears. Every story in there, I think there was 12 different stories, had been researched, and the author found that in every case he felt that the bear may have killed somebody, but that the bear was provoked by the human. And the silliest, well, how can it be silly? When the guy got killed, but the silliest, dumbest thing that was reported was the photographer, nature photographer. He wanted to get that picture that would make him famous, or make him some money, or both. He wanted to get a grizzly charging him, and here, sure enough, he harassed an old sow until she charged, and he got his picture. I think they found it in the camera that was in her poop after he was largely eaten by her. That's a heck of a price. Don't mess with bears. The Indians in that book, it was reported that the Indians said, never look a bear in the eye. They'll consider it a challenge. You're not going to win the challenge.